The next part of that question was, when you begin to put your boat in the water and turn downstream, why is it that all heck breaks loose? Everything.
People will say to us, Abraham, is it normal for all hell to break loose in my life when I begin doing this work? And we say, pretty much. But the reason is because as you begin to focus more, the stream begins to move faster. And a faster moving stream just points your resistance out more. That's why it feels like all heck is breaking loose. It really isn't. In other words, it's the story. A car that's going 100 miles an hour and hits a tree is a bigger problem than a car that's going 5 miles an hour and hits a tree. And so what you want to say when it feels like that's happening is, I don't want to slow this down. I just want to get going in the same direction of it. Imagine an airplane high in the sky, 500, 600 miles an hour, 40,000 feet. You're looking out the window and it looks pretty calm. Put that airplane on the ground at that speed, not so calm. Right. And so what's happened is you've got a fast move. And you see, the more you interact, when this little one and other things, but when this child came into your experience, it caused you to, through the exposure to the contrast, to ask for more. On a moment-to-moment daily basis, you began a powerful growth spurt as a result of this new interaction, which meant your stream began moving faster, which means the faster your stream is moving, the more it serves you to watch what you're doing. You see?
Yes.
So that's why.
Yes,
a lot of people say, well, I'll just slow the stream down. And we say, no, you won't, because you can't. You can't do that. And they say, well, I will diffuse my focus. And we say, well, you can do that. But what you usually end up doing, picture this. So life is causing you to ask for more and more and more and more and more, but then you're complaining or worrying or pushing against, and so you got this push-pull thing sort of going on, which is an uncomfortable ride. Right. Imagine ceasing that a bit. In other words, just not focusing so much on what you don't want, not talking so much about it, and not beating the drum of it. And as you withdraw your attention from this upstream direction, the stream begins to turn you naturally, and now, even though you may not be completely up to speed with the flow. Now let's talk about this. Think about this rationally. My boat's in the water and I'm paddling upstream. You can sort of get how that could be hard on you. But now imagine dropping the oars in a sort of attitude of, I give up, have your way with me. So I give up, I'm no longer paddling, and now the stream is going to turn your boat and it's going to take you with the current. Now, is it possible for you in your boat to go a lot slower than the current under those conditions? It isn't, is it? No. In other words, you're floating on the stream. You're going to go as fast as the stream is going, or nearly.
Right.
So then what is it that keeps me from just floating downstream and living happily ever after and reaping the benefit of everything that's downstream waiting for me? In other words, what could possibly go wrong? We say nothing, except you keep trying to paddle upstream. That's the only thing that can slow you down. If you just don't do that thing, you will live happily ever after. So then you say, well, how can I catch myself in the early stages of doing that? And we say, you're going to feel negative emotion, because pulling against the stream is what negative emotion is. Isn't this good to know? Mm-hmm. Yes. So if I just don't do that thing that always feels uncomfortable, are you saying then, Abraham, that this stream will turn and take me where I want to go? And then you say, but I question the motive of the stream. Is it really a good stream? And we say, just stop bucking the current and find out. Just trust for a little while and see where the stream takes you, because what you're doing isn't working. So we think that's a really vivid picture. So what a lot of people are doing is they fight the current. They get tired, so they let go and they begin going with the stream, and they feel a little bit of relief, but then they come to their senses and they fight the current, and they fight the current, and they fight the current, and then they get tired and they let go of the oars. and the current begins to take them, and then they wake up and come to their senses, or they hear from their mother or from the church or from something, and they, oh yeah, you're right, I was supposed to do that. And then they fight the current, fight the current, fight the current, fight the current. And so life is just sort of the stream having its way, and then you fighting it, and then the stream having its way, and then you fight it, and then the stream having its way, and then you fight it. And we say, stop fighting the well-being that is your legacy. In other words, this little girl somehow relaxed and knew that life would take care of her because it's supposed to go that way. And in fact, we'll say that to you. You're supposed to love me, is what she wants you to understand. Everything always turns out all right for me. And that's the way we want you all to feel. Everything always turns out all right for you, even if you have to die to win your reward. But you don't have to. Just stop bucking the current. All illness is from bucking the current. All confusion is from bucking the current. Everything that doesn't feel good to you is from an upstream perspective. Every single thing. Did we help you? And is there something more you want?
No, you've helped me tremendously. Thank you so much. Thank you.